Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt like you were staring into an empty void? No warmth, no empathy, just calculation, just hunger for control. What if I told you that some of the most charming, successful, and even respected people you know might secretly be the most dangerous? Welcome to the shadowy world of the Dark Triad. 3 personality types so chilling, so manipulative, and so destructive that psychologists say they can bend societies, break families, and even topple nations. But before we go deeper, let me ask you this. Where are you watching this from? And what time is it right now? Drop it in the comments, because I want to know exactly where this community of truth seekers is growing. And if you're fascinated by the dark side of psychology, then don't just watch silently. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who needs to hear it, and subscribe right now. Because what you're about to hear may change the way you see people forever. Now, picture this. A man in a suit walks into a boardroom. Everyone greets him with smiles, laughter, and admiration. He speaks with confidence, oozing charisma. Deals get signed. Promotions come his way. People think he's brilliant, trustworthy, a natural leader. But behind that smile is a predator. He doesn't care about his colleagues, or the company, or even his so-called friends. He only cares about one thing: power. And he'll do whatever it takes to get it. This isn't just fiction. This is the reality of the Dark Triad. Psychologists have studied these 3 traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy for decades. And what they found is terrifying. People who score high on these traits are often successful, admired, and even loved on the surface. But underneath, they are emotional vampires. They feed on trust. They manipulate love. They exploit kindness. And worst of all, most people don't see it coming until it's too late. But what exactly is the Dark Triad? Let's break it down. Narcissism. The mirror is their temple. They live for admiration, obsessed with their own image, and will do anything to protect it. They don't love you. They love how you make them feel about themselves. Machiavellianism. Cold, calculated, strategic. For them, life is a chessboard, and people are pawns. Loyalty means nothing. Morality, non-existent. Winning is all that matters. Psychopathy, the scariest of all. No empathy, no guilt, no conscience. They can harm, betray, or destroy, and sleep peacefully at night. Because in their world, feelings are for the weak. But here's the catch. Not everyone who shows a bit of confidence, strategy, or boldness is dark. These traits exist on a spectrum. But when they combine, when narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy intersect in one person, that's when you get the perfect storm. And history is filled with people like this. Leaders who manipulated nations, lovers who destroyed lives, friends who smiled to your face while stabbing your back. Now, let's take you inside a chilling scenario. Imagine you're dating someone new. They're exciting, magnetic, unlike anyone you've ever met. They shower you with attention, compliments, gifts. You feel like you've met your soulmate. But weeks later, something shifts. They start criticizing you subtly, isolating you from friends, making you question yourself. One moment, they love you. The next, they tear you down. You're confused, but also addicted. You keep chasing the high of their approval, desperate to win back that intoxicating love bombing. Congratulations, you may have just met a Dark Triad personality. Why do people like this exist? Psychologists believe these traits evolved for survival. In ancient societies, being manipulative, charming, and ruthless sometimes meant the difference between life and death. While most of us rely on cooperation and empathy, a small percentage survive by exploiting those very instincts in others. And here's the terrifying truth. These people don't always lurk in shadows. They thrive in bright lights. Politics, business, entertainment, even personal relationships. They climb the ladders of power faster than others because they're willing to do what normal people want: to lie, manipulate, betray, and exploit without guilt. But here things, the question you're probably asking yourself right now: how do I know if someone in my life fits into the Dark Triad? In the next part, we'll peel back the mask on each personality, the narcissist, the Machiavellian, and the psychopath, and show you exactly how they operate and how to spot their tactics before it's too late. Because the most dangerous monsters are not the ones who hide in the dark. They are the ones who smile in the light. This is just the beginning. We step deeper into the shadows of the human mind. We have opened the door into the chilling world of the Dark Triad. But now, let's step inside. Let's meet them face to face. Because if you don't know what they look like, not their clothes, not their eyes, but their behavior, you may never realize you're in their web until it's far too late. Imagine someone who looks perfect on the outside, their smile dazzling, their confidence magnetic, their words dripping with charm. They make you feel like you're the only person in the room, until you realize you're not. Because the truth about the narcissist is this: you are not their world. You are their reflection. Narcissists live for admiration. It fuels them like oxygen. Compliments, praise, attention. They crave it, they demand it, they manipulate you to get it. And when the spotlight fades, so does their interest in you. You see, to the narcissist, relationships aren't built on love. They're built on supply. They take your admiration, your loyalty, your devotion, and once you stop giving, they replace you without a second thought. But here's their trick. At first, they don't show the cracks. They love bomb you, overwhelm you with affection, gifts, and grand gestures. You feel chosen, special, almost addicted to their attention. And then, slowly, the mask slips. The criticism begins. The comparisons, the subtle digs that eat away at your self-worth. Until one day you look in the mirror and don't even recognize yourself. That's the narcissist's trap. They make you question your value, so you'll keep chasing their approval. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already ensnared. Now, let's shift our gaze away from the mirror to the chessboard. The Machiavellian doesn't care about admiration. They don't want your love. They want your obedience. These are the strategists, the manipulators, the ones who believe life is a game and everyone else is a piece to be moved, sacrificed, or destroyed if it means they win. History is filled with Machiavellians, rulers who built empires on lies, leaders who manipulated entire nations, colleagues who climbed the corporate ladder by cutting others down. But they don't always appear powerful. Sometimes they're quiet, calculating, sitting back and letting others speak while they're already 5 moves ahead. The Machiavellian uses deception like an artist uses paint. They'll tell you what you want to hear, play on your emotions, twist truths into lies, all while making you believe it was your idea all along. They don't believe in morality. Right and wrong don't matter. Only victory. Only control. And here's the scariest part. Most of the time, you won't even realize you're being played. By the time you do, you've already lost the game. And now, we meet the darkest of them all. The one without shame, without conscience, without empathy. The psychopath. Unlike the narcissist, they don't need your admiration. Unlike the Machiavellian, they don't need to strategize every move. The psychopath is a predator. Plain and simple. They can hurt you, destroy you, betray you, and feel nothing. No guilt, no regret, no second thoughts. What makes them so dangerous is their mask. They don't walk around snarling or threatening. Many are calm, charming, even likable. They smile as they lie. They flatter as they betray. They shake your hand as they stab your back. But inside, there's nothing. A hollow echo where empathy should be. Research shows psychopaths often seek positions of power. CEOs, politicians, law enforcement, even doctors. Roles where authority and control allow them to thrive. But don't be mistaken. Not every psychopath is violent. Some don't kill with weapons. They kill with words, with betrayal, with manipulation so subtle it feels like you did it to yourself. Now, here's where the nightmare deepens. Individually, these personalities are dangerous enough. But when someone embodies all three, narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, that's when you meet the ultimate manipulator. A person who craves admiration, plays life like chess, and feels nothing as they destroy anyone who stands in their way. These people don't just ruin relationships, they topple governments, they manipulate corporations, they build cults of personality, and history has shown us their shadows again and again. But here's the cruel irony. Do you know why these people succeed? Because most of us don't want to believe they exist. We want to believe people are good. We want to believe charm equals kindness, that success equals integrity, that love equals loyalty. And the Dark Triad thrives on that blindness. They weaponize our empathy. They use our hope against us. They don't fear getting caught, because they know most people won't even suspect them until the damage is done. The narcissist seduces you. The Machiavellian manipulates you. The psychopath destroys you. And the scariest truth of all? They might already be in your life, smiling, shaking your hand, whispering in your ear. We've walked into the mirror with the narcissist. We've sat at the chessboard with the Machiavellian. We've stood face to face with the predator, the psychopath. But now comes the most important question of all. How do you spot them before they trap you? Because the Dark Triad doesn't announce itself. They don't wear a warning label. They don't walk into your life saying, "I'm here to manipulate you." No, they smile, they charm, they whisper exactly what you want to hear. And by the time you realize something is wrong, you may already be in their cage. So, let's sharpen your vision. Let's pull the mask away. 1. Inconsistency between words and actions. A narcissist promises devotion, but disappears when you're in need. A Machiavellian praises honesty, but lies when it suits them. A psychopath swears loyalty, but betrays you without hesitation. Watch not what they say, but what they do. 2. The rush of intensity. Dark Triad personalities often come on fast. They overwhelm you with charm, affection, opportunities. They create a bond that feels too good, too quick. That's not love, that's bait. 3. The subtle erosion. It doesn't start with abuse. It starts with little cuts, small criticisms, small manipulations, little betrayals that you brush aside, until one day you realize you're bleeding and they're holding the knife. 4. Lack of empathy in small moments. Watch carefully when someone else is vulnerable, a friend struggling, a stranger in pain. Do they show compassion or indifference? The Dark Triad slips here because empathy can't be faked forever. 5. The endless game of control. With them, it's never about partnership, it's about control. Who holds the power? Who makes the rules? Who bends and who breaks? Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter so much? Because Dark Triad personalities aren't just toxic in relationships. They influence entire systems. In workplaces, they rise quickly, stepping on others to climb. In politics, they build empires of lies. In relationships, they leave trails of broken people who question their worth. In friendships, they drain your trust until you don't know who to believe anymore. And if left unchecked, they can poison entire communities. So how do you protect yourself? Not with paranoia, but with awareness. Set boundaries and enforce them. Dark Triad personalities test limits. The moment you set a line and they cross it without care, that's your warning. Trust patterns, not promises. They'll promise the world. They'll speak in poetry. But patterns of behavior never lie. If someone repeatedly disrespects, manipulates, or deceives, that is who they are. Detach from the hook. The love bombing, the charm, the too good to be true opportunities, those are hooks. If you feel pulled in like an addiction, step back. That's not chemistry. That's control. Listen to your gut. Your instincts will notice red flags before your mind rationalizes them away. If something feels off, pay attention. Don't play their game. You cannot out-manipulate a manipulator. The moment you try, you've already lost. The strongest move is distance. The bravest act is walking away. Here's the reality that's hardest to accept. You cannot change them. The narcissist won't suddenly discover true empathy. The Machiavellian won't suddenly value honesty. The psychopath won't suddenly feel remorse. You can't fix them. You can only protect yourself. And that protection comes from knowledge, from awareness, from recognizing the mask before it's too late. The Dark Triad is not just out there in history books or true crime documentaries. It's here, around you, maybe closer than you think. The friend who always twists the truth. The boss who smiles while destroying careers. The partner who charms, manipulates, and breaks you down. The monsters don't always hide in the dark. Sometimes, they're standing right in the light. If this journey into the Dark Triad opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Knowledge is the first defense. So tell me in the comments, have you ever met someone like this? What did you notice first? And if you want to keep diving into the hidden corners of the human mind, hit subscribe right now. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And let's build a community that sees through the masks together. Because the shadows of psychology are vast. And this is only the beginning.